What's up, guys? Mr. Lee Raymond here with episode number 1 of my new series, and potentially the last series on FM14, because this is the Pentagon challenge. So for those that are watching this that have not seen this challenge before, you start off at the bottom and you got to work your way all the way to the top. Slightly different now, as you have to start off unemployed with a Sunday League reputation, which is the normal part. The different part is you got to win all Champions Leagues on the games. So the Asian, African, North American, European Champions League and the Copa Libertadores. So you got to do that, basically work your way from the bottom all the way to the top. So what I'm going to do, guys, is most of the time I've seen people do this, they will start in Africa or Asia, really. I'm not going to have Indonesia, Malaysia, Hong Kong. Well, I might have Hong Kong, but I'll get rid of India. Actually, I'll keep Singapore. So I'll get rid of... No, I'll keep Malaysia. I'll get rid of Indonesia and India. So I've got South Africa loaded up, Australia, China, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, Mexico, and the US of A. So we're going to start with those nations. Load up every single one, which I think I actually have anyway. I'll just check to make sure. Whoops. So yeah, I do. So we're going to start this up, guys. I will be back in a second when I just show the unemployment stuff, and then I'll start applying for jobs. So I will be back in 2 seconds, guys. So then, guys, here I am. I'm back. We have loaded it up, so we'll just do all these details just to confirm. As you guys can see, I will start unemployed with the lowest league ranking available, which is the Sunday League, which is what I start off as anyway. We'll save it as the Pentagon, if I can spell. There we go. So we're just going to save that game. We're then going to go have a look at some of the teams. Normally what I do when I start unemployed, I just essentially go on holiday. I just apply for everything. I think I might do that here and see what happens. I mean, there's probably quite a few. We'll have to see what teams there are first. So as you can see, we've got a few South African teams from their first division. I've seen a couple of people be Wimpbank Spurs as well. We've got 2 Hong Kong teams, Kichi, Singaporean league players as well, Malaysian teams. I think I'm going to apply for everything that's not top division or main league. So these guys, Bucheng, Guangzhou. I would do Chinese first division, but as you can see, this is actually the they're practically halfway through the season, and one of the teams, these guys are actually bottom and going out by the looks of it, so I'm not going to bother with them. South African, yes. I'll go for Hong Kong, Singapore and Malaysians because they're not the strongest nations, but they'll do, I suppose. So I will apply for those jobs, guys, and then I will be back if I have any interviews. So I will be back in just 2 seconds, hopefully. So then, guys, here we go. We're back, and as you can see, quite a few applications there. Only one I didn't get was Guangzhou, and that was not surprising. So we've got German Cosmos. I'm just going to do the interviews. It's essentially going to be the same answers on every single one. Stick to their proposals and their budgets. And I've got no philosophies really, and no requests either. So it would be interesting actually, guys. I'm quite looking forward to this. It's the first time I've ever actually done the Pentagon challenge. I've seen quite a few people do it before. It's quite an interesting challenge. Challenge, I think, is going to be the word for me, to be honest with you. I mean, I've watched some people on YouTube do it. I've seen them within about 5 seasons get into the Champions League with the teams that they are. So that's going to be interesting for me because I'm not the best player of Football Manager. Anyone who's seen my series probably can tell that, to be honest. And I would be happy just getting into the top division if I'm starting in one of the lower leagues by that time. So it's going to be interesting, and I would like to keep doing this, to be fair, until FM15 comes out, because this is a long series. I think normally you would say the Champions League in Europe and the Copa Libertadores will be the hardest ones to do, but hopefully because I would have won 3 Champions League by the time I get to there, I will have decent chances again, decent jobs. And again, I'm going to be loading up, obviously, I'll load up everything in South America, so I'll load up most of those. And I think I'll just load up the top divisions in Europe as well, top nations anyway. So like the big 5 that I always load up, which are England, Spain, Italy, France and Germany. So we'll have to go from there, I think. But yeah, we're starting right at the bottom here, guys. This is going to be interesting, because I mean, I think that's one thing about Asia. You don't have all nations taking part in the Champions League, because they have this emerging nations thing. Like some of the nations on here don't take part in the Champions League. They take part in their own competition, really, because essentially they're just not good enough to have a fighting chance of anything. I think Kichi, actually, the Hong Kong team that I actually applied for, they don't take part in I think I may click that one wrong, to be fair. They don't take part in the Champions League. They take part in their own competition, which is to see how they do there. So I've heard quite often as well, actually, that if you do well in Asia with a lower team at least, you have a very good chance of possibly getting a job at the big club in China, the Guangzhou Evergrande. So that could be how to do it, but we'll have to wait and see. So there we go, guys. I have done the interviews with all the nations, with all the clubs. I mean, we'll have a quick shifty at some of the details of these clubs. I mean, Kichi, I've done the Hong Kong leagues before, and I'm normally these guys, Rangers, Hong Kong, yeah, don't know why that was a struggle. So it's going to be interesting. As we see here, we have, so the winners qualify for the Asian Confederations Cup, which is essentially a competition for the lesser nations. So you've got like Yemen and Syria qualifying now, and as you see, it's like Kuwait, Iraq, Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, and then you move down a bit further, and you've got the likes of Myanmar, which I think was formerly Burma, Vietnam, India, the Maldives, and places like that. So that could be interesting, winning that, and hopefully be a stepping stone to going up even further. And then you've got the African teams, which I can't remember off the top of my head. They're in the first division, so I think it was African Warriors, German Cosmos, United FC, and we're back Spurs. I mean, I've been there before, and I think I was Vasco Cape Town, and that was interesting to say the least. And then you've got the Malaysians and the others, which are basically just the same as Hong Kong, which in basically meaning that they don't actually go into the Champions League straight away. So hopefully we can have a little bit of a successful season there. So we'll see where we go. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to pause it here, go on a week, and see if I get a job. Fingers crossed I will. If I don't and everyone gets all clubs get managers, I might skip a season, see how it goes. But join me in a second, guys, when hopefully I will have a team. So then, guys, there we go. We have a offer from Kichi in the Hong Kong main division. So, I mean, we've got quite decent teams there. We've got quite a few Spanish players, which is interesting. The season seems to have started. There you go. They've already started the Confederations Cup, which they didn't actually get out of. I think it's a goal difference, which is a bit of a pain. They've played their friendlies, some sort of Senior Shield quarter-final as well later on. But got to be honest, I was probably going to accept this straight away anyway. The interesting thing is you actually only play each team twice, so we play 22 games. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think the winners of this will go to top 2 teams qualify for the Asian Confederations Cup. I thought the Hong Kong Cup winners would have qualified, but they don't supposedly. And I'm actually in that. I got Sun High in the quarterfinals, or the first round essentially. Then, really, that's first round. There's only 8 teams in it, and the Senior Cup quarterfinals. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I'm going to accept that job. There we go. Finalised. and we've ended it. Just skip on. There we go. We got all the details. Won't bother with that. I'll just confirm that one. Just have a look at where we are predicted to finish, and that is second, behind, I think it's actually South China that are predicted to actually win it, and it is. And we've actually got a fierce competition with those guys as well. So yeah, there we go, guys. Thumbs up for getting a job practically straight away. We'll see how we do. I think I saw the team report and we're not that good, to be fair. Some decent players in there at least, but we'll see what we can do. I'm not quite sure when I'll come back. What should I do? Let's have a look. First game is actually in like 11 days time. I have a think about it, guys. It could be before the actual Rangers game, or it could be after we've played each team once. I'm not really too sure how we're going to do it yet. But thumbs up for that, guys. Leave some likes, leave some comments, subscribe. Would appreciate it all. Tune in next time for the second video, obviously, which will either be pre-season, not pre-season, sorry, end of the transfer window if they have one over here, or the halfway stage of the season. I'm not too sure yet. But until then, guys, as always, take it steady.